Hello everyone and welcome to Glen Eira Leisure. This is our active ageing series that we've put together for you, and the idea is just to provide a little bit of information about some topics that may help you stay active and well and safely. So my name is Libby and I'm from Glen Eira Leisure. And today I'm joined by John Carangelis, and John is from the Caulfield Community Health group, and they are part of the Alfred group. And John's here today to talk to us about foot health and things that we should be doing as we, in these lockdown situations, we all have turned to walking as a main form of exercise, and of course as an exercise professional that excites me no end, and but of course we'd like you to be walking safely in the right way so that we can clock up the kilometres together. So welcome John, thanks for joining me today.
No problem, thanks Libby.
Lovely. Now John, you're a podiatrist. Can you tell us a little bit about what does a podiatrist do?
Well, in, I guess, a broad definition, podiatrists are, I guess, are foot care experts or foot health experts. So we're experts in foot, ankle, and lower limb health. So basically we help to prevent, diagnose, and treat a whole range of conditions to do with lower limbs. Basically, in a nutshell, we're there to maintain the health and integrity of people's feet. And just
fantastic.
Keep them moving.
That's great, John. I have sought out podiatry experts before to help me as a runner and as a fitness professional. Feet, I know, are just so important, and they are the base for where all our exercise happens. And because a lot of our community are out walking at the moment in droves, which is wonderful, I was just wondering, obviously there's benefits to our cardiovascular system, just to our general well-being, and mental and emotionally as well, getting out in the great outdoors, as well as getting vitamin D. And basically, could you tell us a little bit about what we should do to prepare for walking as exercise, or any tips you might have?
Yeah, look, I too have witnessed all these people, I guess, pounding the pavement that usually won't. And I guess as a result, we might see a lot more injuries, or a lot more, I guess, a lot more people coming in with issues to do with, I guess, walking ill-prepared. I guess there are a number of factors or a number of things to look for to prepare for when walking or when beginning to walk. I guess walking is one of those things that we always do, but I guess when we're doing it a bit more than usual, we might be doing too much too soon, and that might kind of make us more prone to stress-related injuries to our muscles, ligaments, tendons, things along those lines. So a good thing to prepare when walking is to kind of do some gentle stretches with our feet to kind of loosen up our muscles and just prepare our feet for the walk ahead. Some simple things to do is rolling our feet over bottles or over a tennis ball, something along those lines, just to kind of loosen those ligaments in our feet. Another quick stretch to do is just your usual calf stretch up against the wall, your basic runner stretch. And then up stretches that you need to do or hold for a long period of time, just some gentle stretching. Again, easing into it, walking nice and slow, and walking at a leisurely pace initially to kind of warm yourself up before you begin, I guess, a more targeted walk for health benefits, so to speak.
Okay. Footwear, John, footwear would be important, I would think. We shouldn't be out prancing in our high heels, I'd imagine.
No, not recommended, but whatever tickles your fancy.
If the shoe fits.
Footwear is an important factor indeed. The things that we recommend are, I guess, obviously an enclosed shoe, a runner type shoe or a sports kind of shoe, something that's quite supportive, but also shock absorptive at the same time. So I'll hold up I guess an example. I'm not sure if you can see that.
Yeah. So a nice supportive shoe.
Yep. So I guess this is a shoe for, I guess, those that don't really want laces or find laces quite difficult to do up regularly. Yep. So this has I guess, Velcro straps.
Yep.
Nice solid heel counter. So that's another feature that we look for, something nice and solid in the back of the shoe to kind of keep our heel nice and straight, which in turn aligns our foot. Another thing to look for is a nice broad forefoot.
Yeah.
So a lot of our patients will have some form of arthritic or foot deformity, bunions, things along those lines, which will require, I guess, a wider fitting shoe. Yeah. Some people make the mistake of buying a larger shoe, thinking that a larger shoe will actually accommodate their deformity. Yeah. But again, these days we get a lot of footwear brands which actually have specific widths, your Ds, your Es, your 2Es, your 4Es, etc.
Yeah, okay. And I know that like the size of our feet, I know for a lot of women, once they've had children, their feet size can change a little. So I suppose when we're able to, getting perhaps a good shoe fitting is really important as well.
Definitely, definitely. So most shoe stores now do have, I guess, expert shoe fitters or measuring systems in place. And a good idea is to get fitted for footwear towards the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Feet do tend to swell during the day, so whether at their largest is probably the best time to get measured and fitted for, I guess, your footwear.
That's when I buy my shoes.
Another shoe I guess I'd like to bring your attention to is just your... Yeah. What's that, sorry?
I said that's when I buy my shoes for the racing season. I wait until later in the day. To go to the races, my heeled shoes, yeah.
Well seasoned, you are, Libby, well seasoned.
And what have you got
Not
there?
the first time you've done that, I'm sure.
What have you got there for us?
That's your standard run-of-the-mill, I guess, you know, sports type runner. So has the same features as your, I guess, more of a classic kind of leather runner for, I guess, over 65, 70-year age type patient who may not be able to do laces. This one has laces, might be a bit more technical, but again, we look for the same features. A nice firm heel counter and a nice broad forefoot.
Fantastic.
We tend to steer away, or we tend to not recommend footwear that just slips on with those elastic sides and things along those lines, because there's more room for movement in our feet, which can cause more injury than good.
Yeah. And what about just sort of general foot health? I know that, as I said, I do a fair bit of running, so my toenails and things can get a bit stressed at times if I'm training for an event. So I make sure I visit my podiatrist, who tends to little issues that I may have with calluses and things like that. So are they things we should be treating at home, or or should we be seeing someone to get those treated?
Yeah, look, again, it depends on your ability. I guess we've all grown up cutting our own toenails and looking after our own foot health, but there comes a time where it becomes quite difficult, whether it's actually getting down there or actually being able to visualize what's happening or to see what you're actually doing down there. So I guess you'll know when it's time to visit a professional. There may also be some things occurring to your feet, like corns and calluses, as you said, which you may not be able to treat yourself. They usually require what we call debridement or cutting out or enucleation. Sometimes we get corns in between our toes, which can be quite painful. And again, that's something that will be quite difficult for someone to attend to themselves. So visiting a local podiatrist or a community health podiatrist, when these can't be tended to on the person's behalf is recommended.
Great, good. Well, as I said earlier, like it all starts at the feet. And I know when we are prescribing exercise in the gym or when we're conducting group fitness sessions, quite often it's reasonably apparent. You can see where someone may have a foot issue and they're in the wrong, perhaps they're in the groovy footwear and they aren't really in the good supportive footwear, or they'll turn up for a running group in a dress runner, but not really a shoe that's designed for stress, you know, for exercise. It's apparent that, you know, if we can get people in the right footwear, we can increase the load so that walking, you know, we've got beautiful parks and gardens in Glen Eira. I spend a lot of time around Caulfield Park because I find that walking path with the gravel is firm enough to be safe for me. I'm not likely to roll an ankle, but it's a lovely walking path. It's got a bit of give in it. And, you know, there's facilities in the park to use as well. So I think choosing a terrain is important because I know pounding the pavement as I get older perhaps isn't the best thing for the joints.
That's right.
So do you think people should mix it up a little bit with the terrain that they're walking?
Definitely, definitely. When you factor in, I guess, the shock factor of a hard surface or a firm surface like concrete or bitumen, with footwear that's not shock absorbing or not the correct kind of footwear, I guess you increase your chance of injury and strain to your foot. So mixing it up by a little bit of pavement, a little bit of gravel surface, flat grass, walking around an oval is fantastic. And again, that also kind of challenges your intrinsic muscles in your feet, and again, kind of strengthens them and gives you, I guess, a better base and more stability. So increasing that muscle strength in your feet will actually give you more stability and balance over time.
Terrific. We often, with some of our series of classes with our Gel Anywhere program that we're running at the moment, and when we are on site at GSAC and also down at Caulfield Recreation, in our Activate sessions, we do put a lot of focus on balance, and we do a lot of single leg footwork so that we are trying to strengthen those muscles around the ankle because as I know, when I've had a trip, I may have lost a bit of dignity on my half fall, but I haven't gone all the way down, and I guess just through strengthening up those ligaments, tendons and muscles around our ankle to give us that little bit of stability and confidence in our movement is also really important as well.
That's right. Look, and prevention is, you know, is better than cure. So preventing an injury will take a lot less effort than trying to cure and heal an injury, especially the older we get.
That's
it becomes
right.
a bit more difficult to heal those ligaments and tendons.
That's right. Prevention's always better than the cure, isn't it?
As they say.
That's right. Well, thank you very much, John, for joining me today, and thank you to Caulfield Community Health for establishing this partnership with Glen Eira Leisure. We're really excited to delve into the world of allied health and the information and education that's available to us to help us progress with our exercise and with our movement and to do it safely and well. So thank you very much for joining me today, and we hope to see you out on one of those walking paths very soon.
Sounds good. It's been a pleasure, Libby. Thank you so much for involving us as well, and we look forward to meeting more collaborations.
Lovely. Thank you very much, John, for your time today, and have a great afternoon, a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.